This is Yahya Davidi, speaking to you from Jerusalem, the capital of Israel, speaking to you on behalf of Bethlehem, Hebrew Nations, our organisation, beliefs of the Western tribes now to be found amongst Western peoples. We're continuing our series discussing biblical place names in the USA. The subject of the present talk is West Virginia. Biblical place names within the state of West Virginia. West Virginia was originally part of Virginia. Virginia, that is one of the 13 founding states of the USA. When the USA became independent from Britain, after the American Revolution, there were 13 states representing 13 tribes of Israel. When we remember that the tribe of Joseph was divided into two, Manasseh and Ephraim, so altogether we have a quorum of 13 states. But usually in the Bible only 12 are mentioned for different reasons, and either the two tribes of Joseph, Ephraim and Manasseh, are mentioned as one tribe of Joseph, or they're mentioned separately and Levi is left out. Or in one place Levi is left in and Simeon is left out. Either way, the Bible does in effect tell us that there are 13 tribes of Israel and 13 states of America, each one in a sense representing one of the tribes of Israel. And it could be that out of these 13 states of America we have certain divisions across the USA that emanate from these tribes, as if they were prototypical examples of all of the tribes, each one being representing a specific tribe. And not only that, this has significance due to our studies indicating that the majority, not the majority, about 50%, more or less, about half of the Israelite nations, the descendants of Israel in our time, are now to be found amongst the population of the USA. So this is significant. So anyway, I'm not going to go into these things very deeply at the moment. We're just going to go through West Virginia and show a portion of the place names that are named after biblical figures, or that have names with biblical connotations. And we are concentrating on populated places. We're not going to into other names such as mountain ranges, valleys and so on, even though if we did so we would find many more examples along the same lines as we are finding. I'll leave that as it is for the moment. West Virginia is noted for its mountains and its diverse topography. It is mainly by English, people of English descent 35%, German descent 17%, Irish 8%, Scots-Irish 5%, Italian 5%, maybe people identify themselves as Americans 19% approximately, but many of those who declare themselves to be American are in effect Scots-Irish. And out of the 8% who declare themselves to be Irish, we also find some who are actually Scots-Irish. Not that there's not much difference, but for those for whom the difference is important, it's worth noting. Also, in the northeast, the West Virginia has got an appendix towards the end, the northeast, as if to say, in that region it's said that many of those of German ancestry are to be found, whereas people of English ancestry are also to be found there, and throughout the rest of West Virginia. And we have one of the counties is named Barbour County. Barbour County, we don't know where this name Barbour comes from, but there was a name, a well-known name in Western history, the Barbar, or the Barbari, or the Barbarians. And this, after the Greeks, this name has been applied to all people who are, all Asian peoples who are a bit wild, and were not to be found in the, to be considered civilized in the conventional meaning of the word, or they were not within the framework of recognized empirical organizations. we find this word Barbar to be synonymous with Heber, which is another word for Hebrew in Mesopotamia, and we consider the original barbarians, the so-called Barbari, to have possibly have been Hebrews or Israelites, because Israelites, when they were exiled, they were taken to the north, and they were assimilated. They became assimilated amongst the peoples in that region, and then afterwards they achieved their independence, and they rebelled, they fought wars and so on, and they moved outwards to the north, and then from the north to the west. And they became known as the Scythians, and also as the barbarian nations who invaded the Western Europe, though not necessarily all people are known under those ethonyms, those people names, are necessarily of Israelite descent, but a good portion of them were. Already we have Barbel County, and in Barbel County we have Adaland, a place called Adaland, and after Ada was a wife of Esau of Edom. Arden was a clan of Benjamin. And then in the northeast we have Berkeley County, Allensville. Allen is a clan of Zebulun. We have Arden, once again another person named Arden, a clan of Benjamin. And we have a river named Jordan Run, after the Jordan River. In Boone County in the southwest we have a place named Adams. Adams was the first man. We have Danville, named after Dan. We have Eden, named after Eden in Manasseh. Actually, there was a place, Bit Edan, in the north. It was in the area of, on the borderland of Asher and Manasseh, in the northern Syria. We have a place named Jackson. Jack is short for Jacob. Jacob was another name for Israel. We have Seth. Seth was the son of Adam, the first man. But in Jewish philosophy and commentary, Seth is sometimes used to represent Israel. He is considered a prototype in some sense of Israel in general. And we also have a place named Van, and also another place called Van Camp. So there was a place named Van in the region of Armenia, which was one of the areas where the Israelites were settled shortly after their exile by the Assyrians. It will be remembered that there were originally 12 tribes of Israel. 12 tribes of Israel split into two different sections. The northern section comprised 10 tribes of Israel under the kingdom of Israel, and the two tribes, Benjamin and Judah, in the south and in the kingdom of Judah. The northern kingdom of Israel was conquered by the Assyrians. All of its inhabitants were taken away, and they lost consciousness or awareness of their identity. Nevertheless, they remained together more or less in coherent units. They retained something of their ethnic cohesion, as if to say. And eventually, through changes and wars, and as we said, different permutations, historical events, they eventually moved to the north and moved westward. And we find their descendants now amongst Western peoples. And in some Western areas, they were either the majority of the population, or they were at least significantly important historically, and they determined the national characteristics of those regions. And so, in effect, the national characteristics of those regions reflect the tribal characteristics that they had received from them when they were in the land of Israel, when they were as they were. In the center of West Virginia we have Braxton County. Braxton County, where we have a place named Joppa. Joppa is also pronounced as Jaffa. We have Jaffa in modern Hebrew. This same name is pronounced as Jaffa. It is still an important city. It is now, in effect, a suburb of Tel Aviv, or an adjunct of Tel Aviv. In the biblical times, it was in the territory of Dan to the southwest. In the north, we have Brooke County, when we have a place named Bethany, which is now near Jerusalem. In the west, we have Cabell County. Cabell means linkage or joining up. A member of the Parliament, of the Israeli Parliament, a member of the Knesset, is a well-known member, is known as this Cabell. Cabell is his family name. It means it has significance in modern Israel. And also there's a similar name, Kabul, which was a name of a city or an area close to Tyre in the north, which was a portion to the tribe of Ashur. We have Barboursville, also in Cabot County. Barbour, once again, is synonymous with Hebrew. We have a place named Sarah. Sarah was the wife of Abraham. In Calhoun County in the northwest. We have a place named Adam, after the first man. We have Anna Moriah. Anna is derived from the Hebrew Hannah. Hannah was the mother of Samuel, the prophet Samuel. And Moriah is another name for Jerusalem. So this place named Anna Moriah is combining these two names. We've also in Calhoun County, we have a place named Hall. Hall was a noble from Judah. We have a place named Milo. Milo is an area in Jerusalem, a well-known area mentioned in the Bible. It's also the name of a place near Shechem in the territory of Ephraim was also known as Milo. You have a place named the Menorah. The Menorah is a 7-branch candlestick. The Menorah used in the temple and made famous from the festival of Hanukkah. And we have Mount Zion. So Mount Zion is part of Jerusalem. In the center we have Clay County, a place named Adonijah. Adonijah, as it's translated in English, in Hebrew it's pronounced as Adoniah. Adoniah was the son of David, and so this is a place named after him. We have a place named Dundon, named after Dan. Enoch was the name of a person in the Bible before Noah, who was taken away. He was very famous, but it's also a name of a clan, or actually is written in Hebrew, Henochi, a clan in the tribe of Gad. We have a place named Ira. Ira was the name of 3 different warriors or advisors of David. We have a place named Nebo. Nebo was in the territory of Gad to the east of the Jordan River. In the north we have Doddridge County. Doddridge County, where we have Avon. Avon is named after Avon in Bethel. And in the south we have Fayette County, where we have Dennessee. Dennessee is named after Dan. We have Dothan. Dothan was in the region of Ephraim. It was the place where Joseph, in the story of Joseph, where Joseph went to search for his brothers. And his brothers, being jealous of him, seized him and sold him as a slave to a group of Ishmaelites who were going down to Egypt. And from there, after becoming a slave, he was falsely accused of attempted rape, put in prison. In prison, he met the ministers, 2 ministers who were also imprisoned by the king of Egypt. They interpreted their dreams. Later, one of the ministers was executed, the other was restored to his post, and he recommended Joseph to the king, the Pharaoh of Egypt, as he recommended Joseph as having the ability to interpret dreams. And through this, Joseph eventually became the effective ruler of Egypt, and he saved Egypt, and he saved his brothers, he saved his father's house, and he saved most of the known world at that time from famine. And he is a prototype of Joseph, of his descendants. We find Joseph amongst the inhabitants of North America, and also amongst the descendants of the Britain and offshoots of Britain, such as Australia, New Zealand, and the English-speaking peoples in general. These are the peoples of Joseph, and they fulfill the prototypical example that was set by their forefather Joseph. Of West Virginia, we have Doddridge. We also have Edmond. Edmond is named after Edom. We have McDonald's, named after Dan. We have Mount Dan, also named after Dan. We have Mount Olive, named after the Mount of Olives in Jerusalem. We have Salem, which is also another name for Jerusalem. And we have Russellville, another way in which the ville, or the settlement of Russell. Russell is from the French, meaning the little red one, and this is a possible reference, I believe it is a reference to King David. David was known as the little one, and is also known as the redhead. These 2 nicknames were applied to David, and Russell, the name Russell encompasses both of these appellations. In the center we have Gilmer County. Gilmer Center we have a DeKalb. DeKalb is similar to, reminiscent of Caleb. Caleb was an important clan in Judah. We have Donlan from Dan. Dora was a port of Manasseh. We have Elias from Eli, the high priest in the story of Samuel. We have Moss and Troy. And in the east we have Grant County, where we find Jordan Run, which reminds us of the Jordan River in Israel. In Greenbrier County in the southeast, we have Dennis from Dan. We have Este is short for Esther. We have Port Donnelly from Dan. We have Lewisburg from Levi. And we have a place named Palestine. Palestine is another name for the land of Israel. In Hampshire County in the east, we have Davisford, named after the son of David. Donaldson from Dan. In Harris County to the north, we have Adamson and Adamsville, named after Adam, the first man, both of them. We have Bethlehem, named after Bethlehem in Judah. We have East Salem, named after Jerusalem. Salem is another name for Jerusalem. We have Hephzibah, which is another name for the people of Israel at the time of redemption. We also have Mount Tabor. Mount Tabor was in the Galilee, in the border region of Naphtali, Issachar, and Zebulun, where these three tribes come together, or where their borderlines converge on each other. Mount Tabor is also important in the story of Deborah. Deborah was a prophetess who called to Barak to lead the Israelites and against their enemy, Jabin, the king of the northern Canaanites, and his chief of staff, Sisera. And an important war did take place in the area of this war, of this encounter, was Mount Tabor. We also have a place named Salem in Harrison County. Salem, as we said, is another name for Jerusalem. In the west, we have Jackson County. Jack, as we said, is short for Jacob. Jacob is another name for Israel. We have Danstown, named after Dan. We have Evans, named after Evan and Benjamin or Ephraim. See how the different names recur, repeat themselves, suggesting a certain pattern. And there is a certain pattern. Each and every state has its own peculiar pattern, which could possibly be worked out, or indications acquired. For the moment, we're just going through and reading out the names. And more detailed work may be done by someone else at a different stage, or by us at another time. In Jefferson County in the east, we have Angle. Angle is another way of pronouncing Agel. Agel, in Hebrew, also pronounceable as Angle, was a nickname for Ephraim, the son of Joseph. It also was a name given to the Angles, who they're also known as Agli. And together the Saxons conquered England, and they gave England Angleland its name, and so we have the appellation Anglo-Saxon in their honour. In the west centre of West Virginia, we have Kanawha County. We have a place named Aaron's, named after Aaron, the brother of Moses from Levi. Davis Creek. Davis is connected with David. Davis is derived from David's son, the son of David. Donwood from Dan, Dunbar from Dan, and we have Vandalia. Vandalia was one of the names that was proposed for West Virginia when West Virginia separated itself from Virginia itself proper, and reconstituted itself as a separate state. Both Vandalia and Kanawha were suggested as names for the whole of the state until the name West Virginia was chosen. At all events, Vandalia reminds us of the Vandals, and in our book, The Tribes, we have shown how the Vandals, the people known as the Vandals, moved to the west and helped populate the British Isles, and especially Lowland Scotland and other areas. That these Vandals were descended from the tribe of Asher. In the centre, we have Lewis County, where Lewis incidentally is named after Levi. It's another way of pronouncing Levi. Where we have a place named Deanville from Dan, the Donlon Heights also from Dan, the Jackson Acres and Jackson Heights and Jackson Mill and Jacksonville. All of these names from Jack being short for Jacob. In Lincoln County in the southwest, we have Gil. Gil in Hebrew means rejoice. And Hagar, which in Hebrew means the sojourner, the convert. It's a family name amongst the Jews today. A similar name, Hagar, was the concubine of Abraham and the mother of Ishmael, the forefather of the Arabs. In the southwest, we have Logan County. Logan County, where we have Davis from David. And Sodom was known in the story of Abraham when the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed, And they're important in the story of Lot as well. Lot was in Sodom, and he was saved from there along with his daughters, who became the ancestors of Moab and Ammon. And in a geographical sense, Sodom was in the region that was later allocated to Judah. In the south we have McDowell County, where we have Avondale from Avon, a place named Dan from the tribe of Dan, the Israelite tribe of Dan, a place named Davy from David, short from David. We have Erin, which stands for island, but it also reminds us of Aaron from the tribe of Ephraim, and a clan within the tribe of Ephraim. Jackson Flats, from the name Jacob. Jack is short for Jacob. We have Jacob's Fork, also from Jacob. In the north we have Marion County. Marion is a form of Miriam. Miriam was the sister of Moses and Aaron. We have Barak of Issachar, from the tribe of Issachar, also participated together with Deborah in the war against the northern Canaanites. And when we spoke of Mount Tabor, we mentioned this encounter, this military conflict, in which Barak led the Israelite side. He was like the chief of staff, as if to say, of the Israelites at that time. And also in Marion County we have a place named Boothsville. This name Booth. Booth means a kind of dwelling, a kind of temporary type of building. It is apparently from the Hebrew name Bait, or Baith, as it was pronounced Baith, as it was pronounced in biblical Hebrew. And this connotes a house or building, or dwelling. We also have Hebron, a place named Hebron, after Hebron in Judah. We have Jotown. Jo is short from Joseph. We have Jordan, after the river in Israel. And then we have Samaria, a place named Samaria, and Samaria is the name of the former territory of the northern tribes, the 10 tribes of Israel before they were exiled. In the north we have Marshall County. Marshall County, once again named a place named Adeline, after Ada, and the wife of Esau. And we have Allendale from Elon of Zebulun. And we have a place named St. Joseph, reminding us of Joseph, the forefather of the English-speaking peoples, not all of them, but of a significant proportion amongst them, that had a determinative influence upon them all. In the west we have Mason County, where we have a place named Mount Olive, after the Mount of Olives in Jerusalem. In Mercer County in the south we have a place named Ada, another place named Ada, and also we have Mineral County in the east, where we find a place named Antioch. Antioch was in northern Syria, but in a geographical sense it was in the region originally allocated to the tribe of Asher, or in the northern section of Manasseh. Asher and Manasseh joined each other in the north of Israel, the north of the Promised Land. The Promised Land in effect stretches from the Nile River. It stretches all the way out. It takes in all of the present-day land area of Israel, the so-called Palestinian areas on the coast. It also takes in Sinai. It takes in portions of Saudi Arabia. It takes in Jordan. It takes in Syria, portions of Iraq, and portions of Turkey, and also the Isle of Cyprus. And in the north, it reached up into the northern Syria, went to the region of Antioch. And anyway, in this county, Mineral County, in the east of West Virginia, as well as Dan's Run, we also have a place named Maryland Junction. Mary is derived from Miriam. Mary is derived from Miriam, Miriam being the sister of Aaron and Moses, and Dan's Run being named after Dan. We have Russelldale once again named after Russell, meaning little red, and little red one, referring to King David, David, who became king of all of Israel. In the southwest we have Mingal County, where we have Sharon Heights. The Sharon is an important planet, an important geographical area within Israel. It was mainly in the region of Ephraim, within territorial allocation of Ephraim. Monongolia County in the north, we have a place named Booth, once again Booth from Hebrew Baith, meaning house or building. We have Bula, similar to Bula, which is part of the land of Israel by the prophet of Isaiah at its time of redemption. Place named Edna, associated with Sarah. Evansdale from Hebrew Avon, and Jake's son, Jake being another form of Jacob. Jacob was another name for Israel. In the southeast we have Monroe County with a place named Dor. Dor was on the coast within the tribe or area of Manasseh. In the northeast we have Morgan County with a place named Jerome. Jeremy is short for Jeremiah. He wrote the book of Jeremiah, an important book in the Bible. He describes himself as being a priest, a Kohen, and as having come from the region of Tekoa. Tekoa was a settlement within the territorial region of Benjamin. In the center we have Nicholas County, we have Donald from Dan, we have Enon from Onan over Judah, we have Gilboa. Gilboa was a place within the territorial allocation of Manasseh. Gilboa was a place where King Saul fought his final battle against the Philistines, and he and his sons were killed in this battle. We also have Mount Nebo. Nebo is in the territorial allocation of Gad. In the north we have Ohio County, a place named Bethlehem after Bethlehem in Judah, and a place named Eden, once again after Eden in the north of Manasseh. And then we have Pleasant County in the northwest. Pleasant County we have a place named Hebron, after Hebron in Judah. Pocahontas County in the east, where we have Bur and Edrei. Edrei is the name of a place in the tribal portion of Naphtali. And also in Bashan of Manasseh to the east, it's a place named Edrei. In the northeast we have Preston County, Bull Run. Bull is a symbol of Ephraim. We have a place named Carmel. Carmel was in Asher, the territory of Asher. We have Denver, named after Dan. We have Eglon, who's the king of Moab. He was important in the book of Judges, where we see how Ohad, from the tribe of Benjamin, Ohad was left-handed, how Ohad killed him. And we have a place named Etam. Etam means hawk ground, or the ground of a horde, after Ait, the word Ait in Hebrew. Etam, a hawk ground, and it was a city. It was fortified by King Rehoboam, 2 Chronicles 11:6, and there's also figures in the story of Samson. Samson was delivered over to the Philistines when he went to the city, when he was in the region of Etam, the rocket of Etam. And also in this area we have Evansville with Evan, named after Evan in Benjamin. We have a place named Israel, after Israel. We have a place named Mount Nebo, after Nebo in Gad. Mount Olivet from the Mount Olives in Jerusalem. We have Or in Hebrew means light. We have Pisgah. Pisgah is another name for Nebo in Gad. It was where Moses died, as we're told in the Bible. We have a place named St. Joe. Joe is short for Joseph. We have Salem. Salem is another name for Jerusalem. In the west we have Putnam County. Putnam County of Eagleton. Eagleton contains the root eagle. Eagle is another way of eagle is also pronounced as angle. And this was a nickname for Ephraim. It means bull car, or little bull car in Hebrew. We also have a place named Ima. Ima means mother in Hebrew. We have Hugo. Hugo is a form of Hagi. Hagi was a clan within the tribe of Gad. In the south we have Raleigh County, where we have Abney. Abney is short for Abner. Abner was a general of Saul from Benjamin. We have a place named Abraham, after Abraham the first Hebrew. We have Cabal, once again Cabal, place named Cabal in the territory, tribe of Asher. With Daniel is the book of Daniel. Daniel was from Judah. He was a wise youth, and he served in the court of Nebuchadnezzar. We have Glen Daniel, and also Glen Daniel after Daniel. Josephine. Josephine is a feminine form of Joseph. We have Mount Tabor, as we mentioned, Mount Tabor in the Galilee. We have Naamah. Naamah is a form of Naomi. Naomi was the mother-in-law of Ruth, the Moabite woman who converted. She was according to the Bible in the book of Ruth, Naomi went with her husband to the land of Moab. Naomi had 2 sons who married Moabite women. These 2 sons died, and so did the husband of Naomi. Naomi had come from Bethlehem in Judah. Now she was left alone, without children, without her husband. and they had originally moved from Judah to Moab because there had been a famine in the land of Judah. She now heard that the famine had passed, that things had gotten better in Judah, so she decided to return to the place where she had come from, to Bethlehem. Ruth was in effect a widow. Her husband had died. And Ruth insisted on coming with Naomi, returning with her to Judah, to Bethlehem. So they did. Both of them, they returned, they went back, and there, as described in the book of Ruth, Ruth met Boaz, married him, and from Ruth and Boaz is descended King David. And through King David, the future Messiah of all of Israel and all of the world. We also have in this region a place named Shiloh, after Shiloh in Ephraim. And we have a place named Sophia. Sophia in Greek means wisdom, but it is probably derived from the Hebrew, as are many Greek words. The Hebrew word Sophia, which could also almost be pronounced in the same way as Sophia. And Sophia in Hebrew means looking, contemplation, revelation, and we can see how this word could easily be applied to mean wisdom, especially when it was borrowed by other peoples. We also have a place named Uri. Uri is short for Uri or Uriah in Hebrew, and these are names known from the Bible. In the east center of West Virginia, we have Randolph County, where we have a place named Beulah. Beulah is the name of the land of Israel at the time of redemption, as we are told in the book of Isaiah, chapter 62, verse 4. We have a place named Canaan Crossing. Canaan is another name for the land of Israel, and in fact the land of Israel in the Bible is referred to as the land of Canaan more often than not. It is the most frequent appellation for the land of Israel is land of Canaan. We have a place named Evanwood. Evanwood derived from Evan and Benjamin. A place named Jimtown. Jim is short for James, and James in turn was a Latin, a medieval Latin form for the word Jacob. Jacob is another name for Israel. We have a place named Job, after Job in the book of Job. A place named Kerens. Keren is the name, is a Hebrew name. Keren in Hebrew means horn. And there was a place named, an important place in the region of Manasseh known as Karnaim. In effect, all of the, in Assyrian times, all of the region of Manasseh to the east was known as Karnaim, was named after Karnaim. We find many names in the west amongst the Celts, so-called Celts in the British Isles, also in Gaul, who's using this root word, Carnuts, Carnutum, and so on. And we also have a place here in Randolph County in West Virginia named Or. Or in Hebrew means light. In the northwest we have Ritchie County, where we have Berea. Berea is derived from Hebrew Berea. Berea is the name of a clan in both Ashur and in Ephraim. We have Elonborough from Elon in Zebulun. We have Eva from Eve, the first woman. In the northwest we have Rowan County. Rowan County will be Allentown from the Hebrew Elon. Elon was a clan name in Zebulun. Place name Amma, similar to Ima in Hebrew meaning mother. Antioch, as we mentioned before. Antioch was in the north. It was in the region allocated to Manasseh or to Asher. It was on the borderline between the two. You have Dodtown. The word Dod in Hebrew means beloved, dear one, and it is the root of the name David. And in modern Hebrew, Dod also means uncle, and that is where we get the English word dad from, father. The nickname for father amongst the people of English descent is dad or daddy, and this is derived from Dod, meaning beloved one. We also have Mount Olive, named after Mount Olivet in Jerusalem, and a place named Peniel, named after Penuel, which was in Reuben, in the territory of Reuben, east of the river Jordan. In the southeast, we have Summers County, where we have Elison and Elison Ridge, named after El or Eli. Eli was a high priest. He was officiating at Shiloh, and the prophet Samuel was apprenticed to him. We have Judson. Judson is a form of the name. It is a very Judson has been explained as a variation of Jordan. It also could be a variation of the name Job. In the north we have Taylor County, we have Elliotsville, once again from this root Eli, meaning God in Hebrew. We have Hephzibah. Hephzibah, it's written Hephzibah in Hebrew, pronounced as Hephzibah. But in Hebrew, Hephzibah as the name is written in Taylor County. That is a name given to Israel at the time of redemption in Isaiah 62:4. We have Simpson, a place named Simpson. Simpson is a form of the Hebrew Samson. Tucker County in the northeast, we have Ben Bush from Ben. Ben is short for Benjamin. Canaan Heights, named after Canaan, another name for the land of Israel. We have Davis. Davis is short for the son of David, David's son. And we also have Davisville, once again from David's son. We have Hannahsville. Hannah is named after Hannah. Hannah was the mother of Samuel. Samuel came from the tribe of Levi. In the northwest we have Tyler County, where we have Ekron. Ekron was a Philistine city in the territory that should have gone to Judah. The Philistines were a prominent people in biblical terms, in biblical times, and they're mentioned throughout the Bible, and they figure prominently in several of the biblical stories, especially in the story of Samson, but also in the story of Samuel, in the book of Samuel, and other works. We have Benzron. Ben is short for Benjamin. We have Big Moses. Moses was from the tribe of Levi. We have Paddan city. Paddan is another form of, in Hebrew, Aramaic, meaning field or plain. We had Paddan Aram to the north. Actually, it was probably within the jurisdiction of Manasseh, who were allocated to Manasseh. We have Shiloh. Once again, the place named Shiloh. Shiloh was in Ephraim, in Israel. In the northeast, we have Upshur County, where we have a place named Canaan, and Dinville, named after Dan. Eden from Bet Edan or Eden in Manasseh. Elamor, also from this Hebrew name of Goshen. Goshen was in Egypt. It was the area given to the Israelites when they were settled by Joseph, or through the agency of Joseph in Egypt. But later, according to the book of Joshua, Goshen was allocated to the tribe of Judah. We have Kedron. Kedron is a form of Kidron. Kidron is a valley in Jerusalem. We have Nebo. Nebo was in Gad. We have Shahan, which in Hebrew is derived from Hebrew Shahan, which can be translated the same way as Shahan, and it means, in Hebrew, means heat, warm. It is a family name. We have Zion. Zion is in Jerusalem. And in the southwest we have Wayne County, where we have Bethesda, which is in Jerusalem. We have Cyrus. Cyrus was or Kyrus. Don't know how they pronounce it there. Cyrus or Kyrus was, as it may be pronounced, was a Persian ruler who was liberated the Jews and allowed them to return after the Babylonian exile. First we had the Israelites. The northern Israelites were taken into exile by the Assyrians. That's 730-720 BCE, before the Common Era. Taken into exile, and then later, about 120, more than 120 years later, in about 580 or so, there was destruction of the first temple, and the Jews who had remained, the Jews from the kingdom of Judah, were taken into exile by the Babylonians. Taken into exile by the Babylonians. After 70 years, they were allowed to return to Judah by Cyrus. And a portion of them did, as we are told in the book of Chronicles and in the books of Ezra and Nehemiah. They returned and they began to rebuild the city of Jerusalem and the temple. Actually, only a portion of them returned at first. Later, more came, and also those who came increased and multiplied, so that eventually they established quite an important entity in that region. It was known as Judea, the kingdom of Judah. After the kingdom of Judah. And most Jews of today are descended from inhabitants, former inhabitants of the kingdom of Judah, or at least a central core, the main element, the dominant element amongst the Jewish people are descended from inhabitants of the kingdom of Judah. The all of it is Cyrus, the king of Persia, was the one who had allowed the Jews to return, and he is mentioned in the book of Isaiah, in chapters 43 and chapter 45, is mentioned expressly, even though Isaiah lived 200 years beforehand. Isaiah foresaw what Cyrus would do, and also Isaiah used the figure of Chorus and the events about him as prototypical events, as we often find in Scripture, as prototypical events pre-adumbrating. It's a fancy word meaning foreshadowing the eventual return of the 10 tribes to the land of Israel and their reunification with Judah in the end times. And we have mentioned this in our studies on the book of Isaiah. Also in this same region we have Doan possibly from Dan, Dunlo from Dan, and in the centre we have Webster County, we have a place named Cohen, C-O-W-E-N, it's a form of Kohen. The Cohens were priests in nation Israel, they descended from Aaron, and they belonged to the tribe of Levi, even though they were distinct from the Levites. The Levites and the Cohens are actually two distinct entities, even though they ultimately derived from the same tribe. We also have a place named Donaldson from Dan, Dor town from Dor in Manasseh. In the north we have Wetzel County. Wetzel County we have a place named Dean, also from Dan. Jacksonburg means Jackson, means son of Jack. Jack is short for Jacob. Jacob is another name for Israel. And we have Marian, a place named Marian. Marian is another way of saying Miriam. Miriam's the sister of Moses and Aaron. In the Word County in the north we have Beulah Hill. Beulah is the name of Israel at the time of redemption. We have a place named Palestine. Palestine is another name for the land of Israel, even though we now have Palestinians who are Arabs, but this is only a modern application of the term. Originally the term Palestine was used for the name of the land of Israel in general. We also have Zachville. Zach is short for Isaac, it's a nickname for Isaac. In Wood County to the northwest we have the place named Boaz, named after Boaz from Judah, who married Ruth. We have a place named Davisville, in other words ville or village of Davis. Davis is a form of the son of David from Judah. We have a place named Eli. Eli was the priest, a mentor, a guide, a teacher of Samuel the prophet. We have Hannah from Hannah. Hannah was the mother of Samuel. We have a place named Jerry's Run, named after Jerry. Jerry is a form of Jeremiah. And Jeremiah, as we said, was a priest who lived in Tekoa, or came from Tekoa in the territory of Benjamin. We also have Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel was in the territory of Ashur. And then in the south we have Wyoming County. Wyoming County we have Allen Junction. Allen from Ellen of Zebulun. Also a place named Jesse. Jesse was the father of David. We have Joe Branch. Joe is short for Joseph. We have Mariana. Mariana is another form of Miriam. We have Saulsville, named after Saul. Saul was the first king of Israel, and he was from the tribe of Benjamin. And then we have a place named Simon, or Simon. Simon is another form of Simeon. Simeon is the name of an Israelite tribe that dwelt to the south of Judah. And these are all place names of populated areas, and we also have streams and rivers and mountain ranges and valleys, as we mentioned, which also have place names, also have biblical names of significance. And then we could go into all of these names, but what we have said so far is enough to form a general impression. A lot of place names in this area, a lot of these place names, or toponyms as they call the names of physical areas within these regions, have Israelite connotations. Isaac's Creek, Jack Run, Jacob's Run. I'm just looking through Simpson Creek after Samson, Zach's Run, Bull Run, Joe's Run from Joseph. We have Davis Creek, Eden Creek. We have Simpson Branch, Saul's Run. We have Hager Fork. We have Denison Fork, Daniel Branch, Aaron's Creek. We have Jordan Fork, Jacob's Fork, Jed Branch, Zach's Branch, Dave Branch. We have a lot of names, and just for anyone who can look up these names and see that hundreds of names, literally hundreds of names of biblical significance in this area, and they all are there. First of all, they are there, which is significant in itself, and they also form a pattern which also may tell us something about the tribe and the character of the state itself. And we saw overall, we may say that many names, and some of these names are from Benjamin and they're from Judah, but also those from Joseph that is the two tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh, especially Manasseh, are also known as possibly other predominant group. Also the tribes of Asher and Dan are also to be found, and other tribes. And we, as we mentioned, these names often are linked together in different groups, and they can be shown to represent stories or themes within the Bible. We do not think this was intended by those who gave the names, that were unconscious of what the significance or the patterns that were being formed when these names were given out, but nevertheless the patterns are there and may be studied. Thank you very much. This is Yair David. I've been speaking to you from Jerusalem, the capital of Israel, and I've been speaking to you on behalf of Brit and Hebrew nations. May God bless all of you.